Welcome to this deep dive. Looks like you sent us a whole bunch of Yuval Noah Harari's writings,
Oh, yeah.
especially from Homo Deus.
That's right.
A Brief History of Tomorrow.
Hmm.
Really heady stuff.
Absolutely.
Clearly interested in the big questions.
Yeah.
About humanity,
Big picture.
where we've been, where we're headed,
Mhm.
and how technology is going to,
Right.
shape that whole journey.
Definitely seems like you're interested in more than just sort of predicting what's going to happen,
Yeah.
but like the underlying forces that are going to drive those changes.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're going to be covering how humans have tackled huge issues
Right.
like famine and disease.
Of course.
But you've also included some
Oh, yeah.
pretty mind-blowing stuff
Mm-hmm.
about the possibility of, like, immortality,
Immortality.
even transcending our current, biological limit.
Ambitious, to
Yeah.
say the least.
So to kick things off,
Okay.
let's start with something. I think everybody
It
understands
is food.
Food.
You know,
Yeah.
you highlighted how for most of history,
Right.
famine was a constant threat.
Always there.
It's crazy to think that today more people die from overeating than starvation.
It's incredible, isn't it?
I know.
It really is a remarkable shift.
Yeah.
When you think about it, Harari argues that, technology, economics, politics, they've all created this
Yeah.
safety net
Yeah.
that's kind of separated us from what he calls the biological poverty line.
Interesting.
Think about the famine in Finland back in the 1690s.
Oh, wow.
Wiped out a quarter to a third of the population.
It's almost unimaginable today,
It is.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of mass starvation?
It really is.
It feels like something out of like a history book.
Like a story.
Not,
Well,
not our reality.
our current reality.
Exactly. But he doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
He connects this to the realities of aging and death,
Okay.
highlighting that, for the first time in history, more people are dying from old age
Oh, wow.
than infectious diseases.
Really?
It's a kind of a stepping stone in
Okay.
his exploration of
Yeah.
humanity's next big challenge,
Okay, what's that?
overcoming death itself.
Okay, now we're getting to
Yeah.
the really fascinating
Yeah,
stuff.
the good stuff.
Yeah, you highlighted these sections about achieving immortality.
Right.
Even, like, predictions
Yeah.
that it could happen within this century.
It's
What kind of world would that even look like?
It's a question with
Yeah.
profound implications.
I guess a bet.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Harari suggests, picture careers that span centuries,
Oh.
people reinventing themselves at 90,
Yeah.
the impact on, generational change,
Yeah.
power dynamics,
Right.
all of that.
Yeah.
He even argues that this pursuit of immortality
Yeah.
might kind of supersede
Yeah.
these traditional concerns about equality.
Oh, that's interesting. It makes me wonder if, like,
Yeah.
the quest for eternal life would,
Right.
reshape our values in ways that
Yeah.
we can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Big question.
There's a catch, right?
Of course there is.
I figure there's always a catch.
Harari doesn't equate immortality with happiness.
That's right.
Right.
He makes a distinction
Okay.
between our biological wiring
Okay.
and our external circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
He argues that happiness, on like a fundamental level,
Yeah.
is a product of our biochemistry,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we conquer disease, war,
Right.
even death itself,
Even death.
we might still grapple with dissatisfaction.
So even with everything we could ever want or need, we might still end up bummed out.
You got it.
What's the point of living forever if
Exactly.
you're not actually happy?
It's
mean-
it's a complex issue.
Yeah.
I
can imagine.
Harari suggests
Yeah.
that our
Okay.
modern pursuit of happiness often overlooks
Mm-hmm.
the intricacies
Okay.
of our inner world.
Interesting.
He points to rising suicide rates
Oh, wow.
in developed countries
Yeah.
like South Korea,
Yeah.
despite their material wealth,
Mm-hmm.
advanced education systems,
Mm-hmm.
stable democracies.
Right. Right.
Their suicide rates have tripled
Oh, wow.
since 1985.
That's
insane. It suggests that there's more to happiness than
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
those external factors.
Totally. You also highlighted sections about how technology,
Right.
specifically things like
Yeah.
mood-altering drugs
Mhm.
and brain stimulation,
Yeah.
could be used to, like, manipulate our feelings directly.
Directly.
Wouldn't that completely change
Ooh,
what it means to be human?
it raises the question, right?
Right.
If we can engineer our emotions for happiness, even if it means kind of sacrificing some level of authenticity, would we?
Right.
Where do we draw the line between self-improvement and self-deception?
Like deception,
We're already seeing this play out, with medications for ADHD and antidepressants. Harari suggests that as we understand our brains better, the temptation to engineer our happiness, even at the cost of our true selves, is only going to get stronger.
That's a pretty unsettling thought.
It is.
It feels like we're moving from a world where, human experiences and feelings are central to one that's just like dominated by data and algorithms. And that brings us to another theme you've highlighted quite a bit in your selections.
All right.
Artificial intelligence.
AI.
Harari seems to suggest that the real challenge might not be conscious machines rebelling against us.
Right, the classic
It's something else entirely.
Okay, you're talking about the rise of these super intelligent algorithms.
Super intelligent algorithms.
He even mentions this program called EMI that composed music. So emotionally powerful that people thought it was written by a human being.
Crazy, huh?
If a computer can make us feel things through art, what does that say about the future of human creativity?
Big questions.
That's a big one.
It is a question worth pondering.
It is.
And it leads us to one of the most intriguing concepts you highlighted.
Okay, what's that?
Dataism. Okay, let's dive into that.
Let's do it.
It sounds like dataism sees information as the most important thing. Maybe even like a new kind of religion.
Precisely.
Oh, wow.
Harari suggests that dataism is emerging as this new belief system that places the highest value on information flow, arguing that life itself is essentially the movement of information.
Wow.
Dataism encourages us to extend and deepen this flow.
So instead of prioritizing individual human experiences, dataism puts data above all else.
Exactly.
So does that mean our lives only matter if they're recorded and shared online?
It's a provocative idea.
It is.
From a dataist perspective, a human experience gains value if it contributes to the global data flow.
Oh, wow.
It raises profound questions about privacy, autonomy, the essence of being human in a data-driven world.
Wow, it's
a lot.
Heavy stuff.
It is.
It feels like we're just scratching the surface here.
We are, and you've given us a lot of ground to cover.
Right.
Maybe it's a good place to pause and pick up in our next session.
Okay.
What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Good.
We've barely dipped our toes. Into this ocean of ideas.
It's a big ocean.
It is.
We'll keep swimming.
Until next time.
See ya!
Welcome back. It's clear from the sources you sent that you're not just interested in what these potential futures might hold, but WHY they might unfold the way Harari suggests.
So why?
Let's get into some of those deeper, historical and philosophical connections.
Yeah, let's do it.
He brings up.
That's a great place to start.
Yeah.
One of, I think, most thought-provoking connections that Harari makes is linking this emerging dataism to like a larger pattern in human progress.
Okay.
He argues that our faith in technology and economic growth, it's almost like a religion.
So we've replaced
in and of itself
worshiping gods with worshiping progress.
Pretty much.
That's a pretty bold claim.
It is. He calls it the religion of progress and suggests it's been shaping our world for centuries.
Wow.
Long before, the internet or computers.
Right.
He traces it back to the agricultural revolution, when humans first started believing they could manipulate the natural world to their advantage.
So it's like we've been playing God for a long time.
Yeah.
But have just gotten,
But we're getting good at it.
Really good at it.
We're getting good at it.
Recently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Harari shows how this idea led to the scientific revolution, the industrial revolution.
Right.
And now, our modern obsession with technology and economic growth, he even argues that this faith in progress has contributed to the decline of traditional religion. Like, why pray for a good harvest when you can just invent a better fertilizer?
Exactly. And he argues that as we've become more confident in our ability to, solve problems through technology, we've become less reliant on traditional beliefs. It creates this vacuum that something like datism could fill.
It's like trading in one god for another. But instead of praying to like a deity, we're bowing down to algorithms and data. It makes you wonder if this shift from a traditional faith to faith in technology is ultimately like...
is it good, beneficial, or bad?
Or not?
It's a complex question.
I bet.
No easy answers. On the one hand, technology has brought about tremendous advancements in human well-being.
Of course.
We've eradicated diseases, increased life expectancy, connected people across the globe.
All good things. On the other hand, we've also seen the rise of
new challenges. Like climate change, social inequality, the potential for AI to outpace human control.
That's a big one.
It is a big one.
It's a bit of a double-edged sword.
It is.
But where does this idea of datism fit into all this? Does Harari think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
He doesn't present it as inherently good or bad. But rather like an emerging reality that we need to understand. He highlights how datism is already shaping our lives in subtle ways.
In what ways?
From personalized advertising to the use of algorithms in healthcare and criminal justice.
Okay, that makes sense. But this is where I start to get a little uneasy. It's one thing for an algorithm to suggest a product I might like. It's another thing entirely for it to
to start
predict my behavior.
Predicting your behavior.
Or make decisions that impact my life.
Making decisions. It raises critical questions about the nature of free will and consciousness. Harari delves into neuroscience research, which suggests that our choices are, heavily influenced by our brain chemistry. And maybe more deterministic or random than we like to believe.
So are you saying we're not really in control of our choices?
It's a challenge to our traditional understanding of free will.
Pretty unsettling thought.
It is. If our choices are ultimately determined by algorithms, whether they're, biological or digital, what does that mean for our sense of self and agency?
This is where I start to feel like I'm losing my grip on reality.
Using your grip a little bit.
It's a lot to take in.
If everything boils down to data and algorithms, what's the point of anything?
That's the big question. And Harari doesn't offer any easy answer.
I figure.
He suggests that if dataism becomes the dominant belief system of the 21st century, our understanding of life, meaning even consciousness, will undergo a radical transformation. It definitely makes you think. It does take a lot to process.
It is.
Earlier, you mentioned that Harari talks about humans potentially upgrading their minds. What exactly does he mean by that?
This is where the line between science fiction and reality starts to blur. Harari explores technologies like brain-computer interfaces, genetic engineering, even nanobots that could enhance our, cognitive abilities, our memories, even our emotions.
Whoa. Are we talking about becoming superhuman?
Not quite. Or at least not yet. But Harari argues that these technologies could potentially allow us to transcend our current biological limitations. He envisions a future where humans might live for centuries. Have perfect recall and experience emotions with a depth and intensity.
Unimaginable today.
That does sound a bit like a science fiction movie.
It does.
But wouldn't that create some
of course,
major societal issues? Like, what about the people who can't afford
Right.
These upgrades.
The haves and the have-nots.
Would we end up with a society of
right.
like super rich superhumans ruling over
everyone else?
Everyone else.
It's a concern.
Yeah.
Harari acknowledges.
Okay.
He suggests that
yeah.
these technologies could worsen existing inequalities, potentially even leading to like a new kind of biological caste system.
That's a dystopian.
It's a dystopian possibility.
That needs careful consideration.
A lot to think about.
This all sounds so exciting and terrifying at the same time.
It is.
I don't know whether to be like thrilled or terrified about the future.
That's the paradox of our times.
Yeah.
We're on the cusp of this new era filled with both incredible opportunities and unprecedented risks.
That's true.
It's our responsibility to shape the future we want.
That's why we're doing this deep dive, right?
Exactly.
To try and
make sense of it all.
Make sense of it all.
And figure out
where we fit in.
Where we fit in.
Exactly.
It's about understanding the forces that shape our world and empowering ourselves to make informed choices about the future.
We've covered so much ground already.
I know we have.
But it feels like we're just
getting started?
Getting started.
Right.
There's still much more to explore.
There is.
Maybe it's time for another pause.
Okay.
We can pick up this thread in our next session.
All right.
And delve deeper into these complex questions about
humanity, technology.
Yeah.
And the future.
All the big stuff.
What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
This deep dive is definitely living up to its name.
It is.
Until next time.
See you then.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
Yeah.
Feels like we've covered a ton of ground.
We have.
From like the early days of humanity to a future where we might,
become immortal.
We grapple with like super intelligent algorithms.
It's a lot.
Yeah, you've really engaged with some of the most challenging ideas in Harari's work.
I appreciate that.
And I think it's time to try and synthesize some of these concepts.
Synthesize, yeah.
What stands out to you as we kind of look back on this journey through humanity's past, present, and potential futures?
Gosh, so much.
I know, right?
It's hard to pick just one.
There's a lot swirling around in my head.
Yeah.
But one thing that really struck me was Harari's point about the agricultural revolution.
Oh, yeah.
He suggests it wasn't just a technological advancement.
It was a complete shift.
But a complete change in how humans relate to the world around us.
It's a crucial point. He argues that agriculture marked the beginning of our attempt to control and manipulate nature on a large scale.
Right.
A shift with profound implications for the development of human civilization.
It's fascinating how he ties this back to the development of religions.
Oh, yeah.
That reinforce our dominance over the natural world.
It gives us a justification for it.
He suggests that religions, like Christianity, with their emphasis on
dominion over nature,
helped justify the exploitation of animals and resources.
It makes sense.
That was needed for agriculture to flourish.
Exactly. You need those things to
keep it going.
Yeah, to keep agriculture going.
It's a
thought-provoking perspective.
It is. It's not. He's not saying
that religion caused environmental destruction,
right?
But that it provided a framework.
Yeah, framework
that allowed humans to kind of rationalize the impact of their actions on the natural world.
It makes you wonder,
are we
hardwired for this type of dominance?
Hardwired for it.
Is it in our nature to try to
control everything?
Control everything.
Even if it means harming other species or even ourselves.
Yeah, it does make you wonder about
it really does.
The trajectory of human history and the choices we've made.
The choices we've made
along the way.
It feels like every leap forward comes with a set of consequences.
Unforeseen consequences.
That's true. Progress isn't linear, right? Not without its downsides.
Harari doesn't shy away from...
No, he doesn't.
The darker aspects of human history. Acknowledging, the violence, exploitation, environmental damage.
It's all part of the story.
That have often accompanied our technological advancements.
It's a good reminder.
It is.
That we need to learn from our past. Mistakes as we navigate
a new era.
This new era of technological change.
With AI and biotechnology,
Right, reshaping the world.
Reshaping the world, yeah.
Yay.
How can we avoid?
Or do we avoid
making the same mistake?
Taking the same mistakes again.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. We're at this critical juncture.
Where we have, incredible power.
So much back.
At our disposal.
At our disposal.
But also, responsibility to use it wisely.
Harari argues that
he does.
We need to develop
a new ethical framework.
A new ethical framework.
One that considers not just human well-being,
but also the well-being of other species.
Right.
And the planet itself.
So it's not just about what we can do.
No.
But what we should do.
What we should do.
It's about
and making conscious choices.
Making conscious choices.
About the future.
About the kind of future we want to create.
The future we want.
It makes me think about, dataism.
Yeah.
And how it views data as
the most important thing.
The most important thing.
Yeah.
Could that perspective offer?
It's an interesting question.
Any solutions?
Harari suggests that dataism, with its emphasis on interconnectedness and the free flow of information, could potentially help us see ourselves as part of a larger ecosystem.
As part of a larger...
rather than separate from it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to, control and dominate everything.
Control and dominate.
Maybe we need to learn to,
Maybe we need to learn to cooperate.
Cooperate and coexist.
And coexist.
Within the natural world.
Within the natural world, yeah.
Perhaps the algorithms... can teach us something about...
About humility.
Humility.
It's a thought-provoking idea.
It is.
It challenges that traditional human-centered view.
Human-centered view, yeah.
Of the world.
And suggests...
You might need to rethink our place in it.
It's possible that the rise of dataism...
Could be.
With its emphasis on data as the fundamental
building block of reality.
Indicates
that we're finally starting to recognize
the limits.
The limits of our own understanding.
It feels like we're standing on the edge of
something new. We are in uncharted territory. But the map is being written as we explore.
But the choices we make today
will
shape the world of tomorrow. So let's choose wisely.
This
deep dive has
been a journey.
Definitely given me a lot to think about. I'm seeing the world in a new light. A little exciting.
Yeah.
A little scary.
It's both.
But ultimately
empowering. Yeah.
We have the power.
It's our responsibility to,
to shape the future.
Actively shape the future.
Yeah.
Not just passively observe it.
That's the key takeaway.
The
future is not set in stone.
It's not.
We're creating it.
Yeah.
With every decision we make.
So keep questioning.
Keep
exploring. And keep those sources coming. Until next time, happy diving.